Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our training videos. Today we're going to talk about managing emotion. Managing emotion. Now, we're not going to talk specifically about emotional intelligence, which we'll come on to at another stage. This is about emotions and how they get managed. Because let's understand that the way in which you manage your emotions are going to be a reflection of how your team or your staff or your bosses or your company perceive you. So it's important to manage emotions. My name is Chris Igwe. I have over 35 years experience working across 5 different countries in Europe, Middle East and Africa, helping to lead, grow and develop teams across those different markets. And what we seek to do in these videos is just give you some highlights as to what leadership is all about and the core skills that are needed to be a successful leader. Now, it is said that emotionally intelligent leaders know when to display emotion and know when to delay emotion. Emotionally intelligent leaders know when to display emotion and when to delay emotions. What do I mean by all that? Well, let's think about it. Like I say, I've worked across Europe, Middle East and Africa, and I've dealt with Americans as well as Chinese or Asians. Everybody behaves in a different way. And one of the key things that is very clear, this will come as no surprise to you, is that different cultures display and handle emotion in different ways. Let's think of a couple of the classic examples. Not everything is perfect, but generally speaking, those with the Latin blood, so the French, the Italians, the Spanish, and then the Africans, or indeed nomadic tribes or nomadic people, they have a lot more emotion in the way in which they communicate, act, and indeed lead. And then you've got those who are a little bit more cold, distant, control their emotions, as in Scandinavia. Now, these are just examples to help you take your mind somewhere, just so you see the differences. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there isn't a mixture of all of these, especially as we travel more and more and we deal globally. But I love Formula One motor racing, for example, and for me, one of the great drivers, he's been around a long time, he's the oldest driver now, is Kimi Räikkönen. And Kimi Räikkönen, by his culture, which is why he's called the Iceman, is he shows very little emotion. You don't see him angry, you don't see him excited, you don't see him even when he wins a race, although he wins a lot less now. But there are certain cultures where that's the way they behave. So as a leader, you need to take those elements and say to yourself, how can I use emotion in the right way, at the right time, and for the right reasons? In the right way, at the right time, for the right reasons. Remember, those are the key ingredients here. You'd have heard me say in a previous video, and I'll repeat it again, when I was working in Switzerland, in a board meeting, the CEO, there was an animated conversation taking place. And one guy was talking very loud and sort of aggressively, albeit it was in the board, and the CEO finally said to this individual, just because you shout the loudest doesn't mean you're right. So you see, it's not about how you want to communicate what you want to say, that it's going to make it heard. It's about what you use to channel that emotion. So I want to give you a few ideas which I've identified here, which will be, these are positive ways in which you can use emotion without necessarily shouting all the time. We'll stay with the green. So your eyes. People can see what you're saying through your eyes. How are you using your eyes? What image are you wanting people to see? What are you creating? Because you can create lots of things through your eyes. Your body language. How do you walk? How do you move? How do you carry yourself? So people can know, they can see as well what your emotion is and how you're going to communicate that. So body language is also important. your face, your facial expressions. Think about it. We can all express ourselves in different ways. People can see in our face the texture, the color, how expanded or contracted it is, whether you have a frown on the top of your head, whether you have a smile, which I refer to as well later. How do you describe, communicate all those? Your voice, how do you use your voice? And by voice I mean tonality. What's the tone that you use? What's the speed at which you speak? Is it faster? Is it more staccato? Is it more aggressive? Is it shorter sentences, language? Or is it longer sentences? Is it bigger words, smaller words, shorter words? How do you communicate or control anger? You may be angry. You may want to punch somebody, which of course we can't do in the modern world that we live in. But how do you control that anger? Does it come out through your body language? Does it come through your eyes? Can it be seen in your face? The words you use? How do you manage and control anger? And your heart. To what extent do you expose your heart? Clearly, I don't mean that in a physical sense, but again, through the eyes and through the heart, the kind of less visible parts are what people are going to see. And that's what you want to communicate. So maybe the heart is linked to the smile, or it could be linked to the language. People see that as all part of what you're trying to communicate. Because maybe you are annoyed, maybe you are angry, but you want to do it in a way in which your message does not get lost in the noise of, oh, he was or she was behaving in an unacceptable manner or used words and language that wasn't suitable, or whatever it happens to be. How are you managing the emotion? Because remember, as I said at the very beginning, it's not about not using emotion. It's about how you use the emotion. Because as a leader, you want people to believe in you, to trust you, to go with you wherever you're going. If you use a style or a language or an emotion that makes no sense to them, you've suddenly come out of the box totally crazy. Do you think that it's going to work as well as if you said to them, look, I'm really angry. I'm very disappointed. We should have done better. You should have done better. We could all have done better. This is how we should face it. Yesterday I was feeling really upset, really annoyed. Today I've got better control of myself and I want to share with you how I feel and why I'm so disappointed. And let's see what we can do together to make it better for next time or not repeat it again. That's the heart piece that's speaking. That's where you're saying, feel my pain, feel my disappointment, feel my anger, feel my emotion. And then they will embrace the desire to make a difference for the next time. That's what managing your emotion is all about. It's not about not having it. It's about using it in the right way. Which then brings us on to these final points. See, when you manage your emotion, it means that you are self-aware. You are aware of how you feel. Maybe this is not the right time to have that meeting with the team, with the company, with the department. Maybe this is not the right time to express to that individual how you feel about what he or she did or did not do. That is you being aware of how your behavior may have a negative impact as opposed to the positive impact you want to have. Being conscious. Now, being conscious is partly self-aware, but it's a conscious state that you are in. So you are totally aware, but you're going into yourself to say, what is this telling me? It could be, where did I fail? What was it that did not work with my team, which I should have done better? So you have to be conscious of the state that you're going to be in. And then finally, it's about impact. What is the impact that that emotion that you are going to share has on the person or the people you are going to share it with? Because you want that impact to be a positive one. If it's not a positive one, then it's just tantrums. It's just you being totally crazy. And maybe that's the way you function. But trust me, there's a limited lifespan for leaders like that. Yes, there are geniuses, I know. There are incredible people. But at some stage where you don't manage your emotion, you're going to lose those who are going to follow you right to the end. So what is the impact that your use of your emotion at a given time is going to have on those who you are talking to? So being self-aware, being conscious, and how that impact is going to affect others. Those are the key landing points, if you like, in terms of how you go about this. Managing emotion is really important. Sometimes you have to use it to the maximum effect, a bit like an actor or actress, if that's what you want to do and you believe in. But make sure that people don't see through it. Make sure that it's genuine, because you get to this point at the end where you're aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. You're aware and conscious of the fact that what you're saying is going to have an impact on other people and what that impact is going to look like. I hope that this has left you with some thoughts and ideas about how to manage that emotion and how to use it in an effective and productive manner to increase your leadership skills to be more successful. If this has resonated with you, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel so you can see not only the other videos, but other ones that will be coming up again very shortly. Thank you.